The Galactic Naval Academy's pristine corridors had never seen such silence. Even the ventilation system seemed to whisper as news spread through the station like wildfire. Cadet Daisy Chen, the first human to ever qualify for the elite Void Runner program, was dead. Jack Morrison stood in the observation deck, staring out at the swirling nebula that housed the academy. His reflection in the reinforced glass showed hollow eyes and clenched fists. 48 hours ago, he and Daisy had been celebrating her acceptance into the program that only 12 beings in the galaxy had ever completed. Now her body floated somewhere in the vacuum of space, victim of what the Zeltharian triumvirate claimed was a training accident. But Jack knew better. He had heard the intercepted communications, seen the suspicious glances from the Zeltharian instructors when Daisy's scores began outpacing their own species' records. Humans weren't supposed to excel at void navigation. Their neural patterns were too chaotic, according to the Triumvirate's scientific doctrine. Daisy had proven them wrong, and they had killed her for it. Cadet Morrison. The synthetic voice belonged to Admiral Kethvar, a towering Altarian whose crystalline features betrayed no emotion. You are to report to psychological evaluation immediately. Jack turned slowly, his movements deliberate. I'm fine, Admiral. The death of a teammate can cause instability in lesser species. The Triumvirate insists on proper protocols. Lesser species. The words hit Jack like physical blows. Daisy had faced that condescension every day, had pushed through it with a smile that could light up a solar system. She had believed that excellence would earn respect. She had been wrong. Of course, Admiral. Wouldn't want any instability. The psychological evaluation was a joke. Dr. Ventar, a Zeltharian with too many teeth and cold calculating eyes, asked predictable questions about grief and acceptance. Jack gave predictable answers about moving forward and honoring Daisy's memory. The doctor's scanner indicated elevated stress but nothing actionable. Humans, after all, were known to be emotionally volatile. What the scanner couldn't detect was the cold fury building in Jack's chest, or the plan crystallizing in his mind with each passing hour. That night, while the academy slept, Jack accessed the restricted databases using Daisy's credentials that hadn't yet been deactivated due to bureaucratic oversight. What he found confirmed his suspicions. Daisy's accident had been orchestrated during a routine void walk exercise. Her suit's navigation system had been remotely overridden, sending her spinning into a gravity well where her emergency beacon was mysteriously jammed. But as Jack dug deeper into the Academy's systems, he discovered something else. Something that made his blood run cold and his purpose crystallize into diamond-hard resolve. Daisy wasn't the first. Over the past century, 17 promising cadets from lesser species had died in similar accidents. Always the ones who excelled beyond expectations. Always when they were on the verge of breaking through barriers their species had never crossed before. The Triumvirate had been systematically eliminating threats to their perceived superiority for generations. Jack's fingers flew across the holographic interface. His human brain, chaotic, unpredictable, and according to Zeltharian science inferior, began making connections at a speed that would have alarmed his instructors. He wasn't just accessing files. He was creating a web of evidence, constructing a narrative, and simultaneously preparing for something the galaxy had never seen before. The next morning, Jack submitted a formal request to attempt the Void Runner qualification course. The request was denied within minutes. Humans lacked the neural stability for such advanced navigation. But Jack had expected this. He had also expected the smug satisfaction in Dr. Ventar's eyes when delivering the rejection. What they didn't expect was Jack Morrison to smile. "That's unfortunate," Jack said calmly. "I was hoping to discuss my application in person with the Triumvirate Council. Perhaps they'd be interested in reviewing some historical data about the program's safety record." The color drained from Dr. Ventar's face. "What do you mean?" Jack activated his personal holoprojector. 17 faces appeared in the air. 17 cadets from different species, all dead, all victims of the same systematic murder. At the center, Daisy's bright smile seemed to illuminate them all. "I mean," Jack said, his voice carrying a quiet authority that made the Zeltharian step backward, "that I've compiled comprehensive evidence of genocide spanning over a century. Neural pattern analysis of the accidents, communication intercepts, even biometric data showing premeditation, all uploaded to every major news network in the galaxy with a dead man's switch." Dr. Ventar's breathing became rapid and shallow. You can't prove, I can prove everything. Jack's smile widened, but his eyes remained cold as space. See, you made one critical error in your assessment of human neural patterns. You mistook our chaos for weakness, but chaos, Doctor, is unpredictability. It's making connections you never see coming. It's 15 hours straight of data analysis fueled by grief and rage and the absolute certainty that justice will be served. The Academy's emergency klaxons began blaring. Through the observation windows, Jack could see ships from a dozen different species converging on the station. His evidence hadn't just been sent to news networks. He had transmitted everything to the Galactic Congress, the Interspecies Court of Justice, and the military commands of every species that had lost a cadet. You see, Jack continued as security forces filled the corridor, Daisy believed that excellence would earn respect. She was wrong about the earning part, but she was right about respect. She deserved it. They all did. Admiral Kethvar burst into the room, his crystalline features actually showing emotion for the first time Jack had seen. Morrison, what have you done? What I should have done the moment they killed her. Jack looked out at the approaching fleet. I've reminded the galaxy what happens when you murder a human's friend. We're not just chaotic, Admiral. We're vindictive. We're thorough. And we never ever forget. The triumvirate fell within a week. The evidence was overwhelming. The galactic outrage absolute. Trials would follow. Reparations would be made. And the Academy would be rebuilt under new principles of actual equality. But Jack Morrison stood in his cell aboard a Galactic Congress detention ship, staring out at the stars, thinking only of a girl named Daisy, who had dared to dream of touching the void. Her death had cost the triumvirate everything. Her friend's revenge had shaken the galaxy forever. And in the end, that seemed like a fair trade.